got my good eye on you.
Hello, hi, and welcome to Good Eye, everybody. I am one of your hosts, Trent Steffes, from the MNWA, the HRL, and the SWBL. And with me, as always, is Brandon Corbett, the unofficial Commissioner of the Year from WSEM and future mentor to Flat Rock Wiffle Ball. Brandon, welcome.
They literally are a 2-minute walk from my house. Never knew. Small world. And also, good emphasis on the one of the hosts, Trent. Keep you in check.
You. Do you like my douchebag DJ voice?
I think it's the greatest voice I've heard all day.
Thank you.
It's killing it. I say, do it the whole way through, or until you forget.
I'd lose steam for sure. Brandon, who do we have joining us today on the guest hotline?
Oh, we have a really good one, Trent. He's our favorite person on the planet. His name is fucking no one.
Yeah, I love that guy. Really unique name. It's his birth name, but yeah. No, we don't do guests on this show. We just talk about uniforms, and that's pretty much it. We're part of the Two Wiffle Dudes podcast network, and you can follow us on Twitter, both at Good Eye Podcast for just this show, and at Two Wiffle Dudes for the whole podcast network. All right, Brandon. So as we do every time we do a show when we feel like it, we open up with new looks that we've come across. And this week we're kind of in a dead zone because we're past the point of like everybody just getting excited and jumping the gun, and then people actually revealing new looks. So the only new look we have this week is the Brew City Wiffle Ball new league logo, and as you can see, it's the old Milwaukee Brewers logo. Do you want to take the lead on this one? My Google shut down.
All right, absolutely, yeah. And
Perfect.
I guess technically it's actually the newer Milwaukee Brewers logo than the old one they had, because they used to use the ball and glove that the Brewers used in the 80s and into the 90s, and this one, the Germanic kind of style one, the first time they really went beer looking with theirs, is from the mid-90s. And I actually liked this when the Brewers used it. I liked the blue, green, and gold colors, and I thought I don't know, it's definitely way too stylized now, but at the time I liked it. So, I mean, for Brew City, I mean, it's probably just a horizontal step. It's not really a step forward, but
yeah. I mean, this one I think it's a lot cleaner than their last one, and I mean we're just talking about a repurposed logo.
Yeah.
But I actually like the old ball and glove one. That's one of my favorite baseball logos ever, and I love that color scheme and everything. But so I'm kind of sad to see them go, but hey, it's something new. Also, do you have anything else to say about that, Brandon?
Not so much. I mean, obviously, the one thing they changed the M into a W. There's your big stylistic choice.
It's a pretty clean change too.
I mean, I guess that's the weird thing about it. There's no C, which Brew City they'd emphasize the C a little bit.
Yeah, good point. I don't know. Maybe Brew City's one word, like
Brew City.
Brew City, yeah, exactly. All right, another new look that we have is the Hometown Cup logo set from the ORWBL League, and this is like their
it's
their
big
like
summer tournament.
Yeah, it's called the Hometown Cup, and as you see, they have a whole logo sheet, and I'm guessing this one's going to be held in New Carlisle because that's the color scheme they're going with. Brandon, as far as events logos, how do you think this looks?
Well, I mean, it looks good. It does have a lot going on, but I mean, that's kind of this. An event logo is different than a team logo, so you can get away with this for an event logo. I think, like for an all-star game or tournament. Obviously, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, given the train, I would have expected it to be played in downtown Chicago, but maybe a good one for the 2016 regional that was in New York. That would work too. But
yeah,
I mean, it's a pretty good look.
Yeah, it's good. It's really professionally done, I think, and that's what I like most about it. I like the script, the Wiffle Ball Championship script they have there is really cool. For some reason, that's pushing the button of liking.
Yeah, it's a fun little font. Definitely seems, I don't know, youthful. Is that the word I'm looking for? Or
yeah, wiffle ballish is another one.
youthful but still semi-professional. So, yeah.
Of course. Well, that's a perfect segue into our topic for today, which is the ORWBL, the Old Republic Wiffle Ball League. They're based out of Indiana. They started in 2007, and they have had like a bunch of teams in their history. And today we're just going to be looking at the teams for the 2018 season. So what we do is we do the counter rankings. We're going to go back and forth to determine and rank these teams' logos pretty much, because that's really all we're going with here. A lot of times we do identities, but these are going to be the logos.
Yeah, I mean, for the most of them, I mean, we know that there are some nice jerseys from at least a couple of the teams. Unfortunately, very hard to come by those. So we only have pictures of 2 of them. So, I mean, mostly it's just going to be the logos that we see on the site, and that's going to form the basis of our thing. But, I mean, speaking of logos, let's actually hit this league logo up first this time.
Yeah.
Get totally out of... And what are your impressions of the league logo?
I remember this is kind of like, it's kind of like a classic logo in wiffle ball, because like I said, they've been around since 2007, and since I started getting into the national wiffle ball thing, I've been aware of ORWBL that whole time, and I've never met any of the main people from there because I've never come to NWLA tournament, but this has been pretty consistently in the wiffle ball circles. To me, it's just a classic because of that. It's got the classic wiffle ball on it, and the state of Indiana into the building front is pretty cool, and it's a nice little serif font they got working there. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, this one they've had around forever. I think the only thing they've done to it is a little bit of cleanup, and I think that's just like, hey, we have a better graphics program now. Let's do a little more with it. But yeah, like you said, it's classic design all the way through. The building on top is actually the Old Republic building, I believe. 95% confidence on that. So that's where the name of the league comes from. And I mean,
what is the Old Republic?
I have no idea.
Is that like
it's not the Knights of the Old
stuff?
No, we're not doing Star Wars again, Trent.
Oh, okay.
But I love the way that they fit that right on top of the state. I actually remember years ago, our mutual friend Carl said he didn't even realize it was the state of Indiana because it all just fit so well together. Which,
wow,
in case you didn't notice,
Carl
that is the state of Indiana.
Gosh, does he care about anything?
He hates Indiana.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
All right, so Old Republic starting off with a strong league logo, and this is actually one of the first times they've had a strong league logo from one of the leagues we've done. Usually that's the weakest part of their identity.
yeah, for sure.
So good start.
You got a great point there. Yeah, we're off to a good start here. There's nowhere to go but down. And before we do start going down, however, we are going to play a little game here. We are going to determine who goes first here. And Brandon, you got the question or the prompt this week. What is it this episode?
Oh, we're staying with the Old Republic Wiffle Ball League because they have all-time leaders on their site. So we are going to do all-time leaders in home runs. So that's seasons 2010 through 2017. We're both going to guess a number. Who's ever closer gets the win. All right, so what do you want to do? Do you want to give yours first? Have me give mine first?
Yeah, I'm going to set the bar here.
Thank you.
So this is going from 2010, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to have to go with 400, and I know that might seem a little ridiculous, but I mean, this is like as slow pitch gets. If I'm correctly informed, and I'm pretty sure Caleb Jonkman hit like 50 or 40 or something in one season, and so we're dating back 8 seasons here. I'm gonna think that there's been some consistently strong hitters in this league, so I'm gonna go with 401.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. It's gonna be a big number. How do we just? I'm gonna go with slightly under you. I'm gonna go with 380.
Okay.
Just because that's a ridiculous number. I don't think everyone's getting Caleb's 60s every year.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure how many guys have been around the whole time. So
I kind of thought about that as I was saying it, but it was already coming out of my mouth, so I couldn't stop it.
I actually kind of wish I would have said 320, but I said 380. So here we go. Moment of truth.
Here we go. Let's go. Brr. Not doing a drum roll.
368 by Scott Seuss, not Dr. Seuss. SOOS. Luckily, we don't. Luckily, Trent hates Price is Right, so we don't play it. So 368 home runs.
368. Does it say how long he's been playing for?
Let's see, can I click on him? I can't click on him, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Does it say what team he's on?
No, it just says rank player home runs.
Wow, nice of them to care. All right, Brandon, you win. You're the big winner. Do you want to rank the even number teams or the odd number teams? The odd number teams would let you rank the number one, but the even would force me into ranking the number one.
You know what? I took the easy road last week. I'm gonna let you do evens. I'll do the odds.
Fantastic. I like it. All right, so we're gonna rank these teams 1 through 4. I'm going to do the evens. Brandon will do the odds. We are doing the counter rankings and kicking it off with the number 14, with the number 14 logo in the ORWBL League, is a brand new team. Sorry, I got to get these names right because they're very particular. It's the East Granger Billy Goats, Brandon. And, there's not a lot to love about this logo. And I mean, when you look at it first, it's like, okay, that's a cool looking goat, but then as you can see here, you did the research, and if you type in goat clip art, it's literally the number one thing that you find in Google. So the fact that this is the single laziest, it's not even altered. This is the single laziest logo that you could possibly come up with for this team. And the font, don't even get me started. It's gross. I don't dig that kind of grungy font. I don't like the laziness of the logo, and I think because of that, it gets the bottom spot.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see it being down there. And like you said, my whole thing on this was, my only note for it was "Hi, hello, Clip Art Nation," to paraphrase our good friend. And yeah,
of course.
I mean, the font, the blue and orange color is not bad, but it's kind of yellowy orange. Creamsicle-ish, but I mean, it definitely looks like something that got chewed up by this goat. But yeah, when the extent of your design work is type in goat, and that's the first thing that comes up, that's definitely deserving of the 14 spot. So not much else to do with them. Number 13, I'm going to go with the South Shore Silver Sluggers.
The Silver Sluggers. Let me know why.
Well, the main reason is, if your name is the South Shore Silver Sluggers, why do you use a minor league baseball logo that is the Lakewood Blue Claws? Wouldn't you use something more silvery?
Or sluggerly?
Or sluggerly. This thing does have a bat, let's be fair.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know, maybe South Shore is known for their Indiana and crabs.
Yeah, how do you know?
It could be. But yeah. I mean, like, other things that I think might be better for their mascot instead of the silver crab, the Terminator. That could be good.
Yeah, sure.
Silver Surfer, that's an easy one. I don't know, anything that's not, I don't know.
So this is really, really taking the alliteration aspect of language and pushing it to the max for a wiffle ball team. If you don't know what alliteration is, it's words that begin with the same letter that are in the same order. So the South Shore Silver Sluggers. It could almost be a tongue twister, but this is the first. Well, actually, the last one was the first, but this is one of many teams in this league that have 4 words in their team's name. And to me, I don't know. It's just, South Shore Sluggers, that's good. Why do they have to be silver? I don't know if that's a rule in ORWBL that you have to have that kind of like an adjective before the noun, but I don't know, man. It's just 4 words that all start with the letter S. Come on.
It is a mouthful.
And so at number 12 here is going to be a team whose name I really, really hate, and that is the Rolling Prairie Emery's Army. This team has been around since 2009, and they've been to the playoffs 8 times, so a little history on them. But we don't care about stats here. We care about the logo. First off, what's Emery's Army? I don't know. Maybe that's a bit for Indiana. How am I supposed to know? Their logo is a picture, and I know what all logos could be considered picture, but this is literally like a portrait, which I really, really am against. It's a real mouthful to say this team name, the Rolling Prairie Emery's Army. You have to pause like 2 times when you're saying that. So there's nothing standoutish about this team, aside from the fact that I really don't like the identity at all.
All right, and yeah, it's an illustration for sure, but doesn't this guy, when you look at him, he totally embodies Rolling Prairie Emery's Army. Like, that's exactly what you think. He's a rugged-looking dude. Like, he's been riding through the plains for a week. He smells. Yeah, I mean, it's not great by design standards, but, like, for the team name, it kind of works.
Who's Emery? Who's Emery?
Some guy. Some guy that's been out on the plains for a long time, Trent.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, and this, like you said, this logo's been around a long time, so it's got a little bit of cachet just for that. But yeah, you're right. I had it higher up mostly just for that nostalgia, I guess. I remember this logo back from when I used to run that other website, so I mean, I just kind of remembered, so I have a little like for it. But yeah, you're right. Definitely just an illustration, not a great logo. And like I said, I don't think they've ever put it on a shirt or anything like that. So,
fun fact: if you Google Emery's Army, you get the top result is a website about a baby with health disorders. So that's a real bummer. Don't Google it, because I did, and now I'm bummed out. Brandon, bring me back up with number 11.
Sorry, Trent, I'm not going to be able to do that. At number 11, I have the Granger Panthers. This might be the first surprise. And the main reason for this is just it really doesn't fit the style and theme for the rest of the league. Like, almost all the other ones, either in terms of colors or logos, they're fun. This one looks like it's trying to be a badass metallic Robo-Panther. And it's an odd logo, too. Like, it looks like it's squished pretty severely, like horizontally. His jaw is incredibly tall. It's got the opposite problem with the new Jaguars logo, I guess, Jacksonville. But yeah, like, just very strange, like a very tall jaw, snake-like almost in its look. Yeah, it just doesn't do the trick for me, and the fact that it doesn't fit in with the similar styles of the rest of the league, which isn't a prerequisite, but it just stands out so much, and for not being greatly done, that hurts it.
Yeah, and this team, their first year was last year, and here's what I envision the Granger Panthers as being. It's a bunch of, like, 17-year-olds, seniors in high school. They're all blonde. They have the undercut haircut, and they're really, really competitive. And there's teams like that in Minnesota, and this just strikes me as a team of Todds. And the logo, it's got a gradient, which I don't like. Like, Robo Panther's a great way to describe this, and I'm almost certain that I've seen this logo used as a high school sports logo here in Minnesota somewhere. I don't know if it's like Lakeville South Panthers or some other Panthers team, but I'm almost certain that I've seen this logo somewhere else. And I'm not like you. I don't prepare anything for anything, so I didn't go out of my way to look it up where I might have seen it before. But yeah, it doesn't scream original to me.
Yeah, I did try doing a reverse image search on it, and I couldn't find anything definitive. But like you said, I think it definitely is something that's used elsewhere, just with enough tweaks to it that you can't easily pinpoint it.
Absolutely. So number 10 here is another team that got so far down on the list because of their stupid name, and that would be Sawagani Lake White Land Sharks. Okay, so not only are there 4 words technically in this name, there's 2 adjectives in this name. So not only are they the Land Sharks, but they're the White Land Sharks. Don't get them mixed up with the brown or the black or the yellow Land Sharks. They're the White Land Sharks, and they just ripped off. They just came out with like a new logo or whatever, but they're a new team, so I don't know how they already changed logos. Oh golly, I don't know. But I think you'll talk about their other Land Sharks logo, but this is just a ripoff of a Threshers logo. I know it's a minor league baseball team name because we're looking into that kind of stuff for HRL right now. I don't know definitively which minor league team it is, but I know it is a minor league team.
Yeah, it's the Clearwater Threshers of the. I actually had a league. They're in the. I should have looked it up before interjecting, but it's the. Actually, I don't have what league, but it's a minor league baseball logo at any rate.
Yeah, Clearwater Threshers sounds right. But my God, I mean, so obviously every single one of these teams has to have like a surname, or that's not right. A name, a place name, yeah, a location. So not only are you gonna go with a name that people outside of the area like us aren't gonna be able to pronounce correctly, but you have to have 2 adjectives just defining a shark. It's just pure spite. Brandon, what do you have to say?
Where are you seeing the white land sharks? I'm on there and I'm just seeing Sagani Lake land sharks, but I wouldn't doubt that you have seen it somewhere. Maybe it's a change they made somewhere along the way.
Let me see.
Like the logo.
I'm pretty sure it was on the ORWBL standings because that's where I got this from. If you go to ORWBL.com/standings, it says...
Yeah, it's white land sharks there.
Yeah.
Their team page just has land sharks. So. But either way, even if you take the white out, there's still a problem. Sagani, I don't know, however that's pronounced.
Sagani, that's definitely it. I'm too much of an idiot. It's
Sagani,
Sagani, probably. I think it's Sagani.
Soggy Lake land sharks. So lake land sharks. Lake land sharks. Lake. If you're a lake, why would you put land sharks?
That's a good point.
Oh, that's
These gentlemen don't have very good marine biology minds.
Well, maybe they just wanted to say that they control all environments. But like you said, they did just yesterday. We're recording this on a Thursday. They released this like at 9 p.m. last night. The new logo. The new logo was just a Clearwater Threshers. That said, it is better than the previous one. The previous one was actually a bar logo of all places from East Lansing, Michigan, home of the Spartans, which makes no sense why a Northern Indiana Northern Indiana team would just take their bar logo. But yeah, I mean, I'll give them this. The new logo is an upgrade over their original logo, and I guess we could think of this as like the Jacksonville Jaguars' original logo that they had to change before ever taking the field. So maybe it's that kind of thing. Maybe the bar suit them.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're right. There's a legal battle.
Number 9 now, correct?
Correct.
All right, and I am going with, I feel kind of bad about this, the Great Lakes Godfathers. And again, this is another one of those illustrations. Mm-hmm. And I believe it's actually, I got to get my notes up, it's Babe Ruth and Al Capone put together. So, I mean, if you're going for a badass, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, it's Al Capone plus Babe Ruth. It's from somebody's DeviantArt thing. They just decided to make a cool T-shirt with Capone and Babe Ruth together.
Okay.
And holding bloody baseball bats. So a little bit of Negan thrown in there too. It works.
3 of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool for that aspect, but again, it's probably cooler for merchandise stickers or something you're putting out there. But again, it's one that's been around for a while, so it gets a little bit of cachet. If they had a jersey, maybe it could be something cool. But without seeing that, can't put this any higher than 9.
Yeah, so for this one, I had it around here too. I like on the script logo with I like the symmetry between the Great Lakes and the Godfather, and I mean that's an easy font to find, but I like that they cared enough to go out and find it.
And actually bringing in the movie full.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The choice of Babe Capone is kind of weird because neither of those two had anything to do with the Godfathers. I don't believe. I don't know if I would. Was Babe Ruth or was Al Capone ever in like the New York style mafia? I don't know. I thought he was just kind of a gangster. So there's kind of a disconnect between the name and the team name and the guy they chose to represent.
Well, I mean, you can tell he's definitely a mafioso.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, if you think about the Godfather, you think about the Corleones or whatever it is. I've seen the movie once. I guess
he would not make a good logo.
Yeah, he wouldn't make a good logo. I get the baseball bats bit because that's something that that was like a. I don't know if it actually happened, but that's kind of like a Capone myth or his tall tale is that he beat someone's head in with the bat, so I get that. But I think you could have gone way more subtle with that if that's what you were really trying to do. The bats didn't have to be bloody, and there definitely didn't have to be 3 of them. So it's just a little too intense of a logo for me in that regard, considering the mythology that comes around that. But yeah, not a huge fan of that. And next, we are going to go with another kind of weird team logo, and that is the Barisa Hills Wildcards. So this logo here, first let's start with the hand. I don't see any wild cards in the royal flush that they have there, so there's a problem with me. Why is there another Mafia type of bit? I mean, going back to back, that's kind of unfair.
That was going to be my note on it. Isn't this, because this is another new team, or actually it's not a new team, but it's a renamed team. First year of the name. And isn't it kind of jumping on the Godfather's territory here?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, we're overemphasizing it, putting them back to back here, but 2 out of 14 teams having to do with the Mafia is a little bit overkill. And it's not like the Patriot thing where they're like the Mafia Wiffle Ball League or something like that. I don't get the bit with the guys. I don't understand why the wild cards are Mafia related. And I don't know. It's just this just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's an okay. There's okay parts of this. Like I like the whole. The font there kind of looks like an Old West kind of cowboy font, and that's cool because cowboys played cards all the time. But then the Mafia goes in, and there's not even a wild card in the hand. So yeah, this is all over the place for me.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I don't know why they felt the need to bring in the gangster motif there. I mean, you could easily just do this with playing cards, and like you said, include an actual wild card, a Joker, or maybe even just like a Jacks or Wild kind of thing, but. So, I mean, they kind of missed the boat on both of those things. The black and red, though, is nice. They pull it off, I think, better so far than the Panthers do. But, I mean, for the 2 teams with the same kind of theme name, I mean, SEC has 3 Tigers. WSM had 2 chicken teams for a couple seasons. So, I mean, it can be done. But, yeah, this one just, it does seem like it's getting really close just because, I mean, they're both going full on with gangster face kind of things as their main attraction, I guess. So that is awkward. And the team, I mentioned it, they used to be the Pterodactyls.
Oh yeah, that was a sick logo. They seem to change from that. I like that a lot.
The primary was the Phillies P with the peaking pterodactyl, and they had a really weird secondary too. It was like Jurassic Park themed with the pterodactyl flying over the state of Indiana. Jurassic Park font. So I mean, I think that was probably better overall.
Yeah, for sure. That would have probably been a top 3 or 4 logo for me. And even though it is the Phillies, there was a lot of layers to that logo with the P and the pterodactyl starting with P. Yeah.
And I do have the reason they changed is the captain whose name I lost, but he said that the name suits us well because you never know which team you're going to be getting when you face the wild cards. So apparently they just have random people showing up every week is what it sounds like. If that's what you're going for.
Seems like a better nickname for your team. The Pterodactyls, those guys are wild cards. I don't know. Whatever. All right, number 6. Right? Or 5, 8. 7. God, I'm dumb. 7.
Right between them, Trent. Right between them. All right, so at number 7, I'm going with the South Bend Muffs. It's colorful. It's fun. I'm going to shout out one of the old teams that's no longer in the league, ended last year, the Taco Punchers. That was a very colorful, very fun one. This is probably the new ones, this is the closest one to getting there, but I mean, I just think I'm watching Adult Swim when I'm looking at this thing. I love the purple and red color scheme, but I don't know.
It's too creepy. They could have done without the red eyes. I mean, I get that the cherry's red, but you can just make that sucker white and just call it a day. I like the fun, like you said. It's a really fun. It's a fun type of bit. I mean, I think it's a sexual thing, but I'm not quite sure.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I like the uniqueness of the font and the script and everything, but the cupcake really holds it back from being one of the better logos and identities in this league.
Yeah, and I mean, I talked about the purple and red, but I mean, if you look at their actual banner of their page, it's pink and yellow. So who knows where they're actually going to go? They might They might go Powderpuff Girls. They might go creepy Muffin's going to eat your face. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ways that could go, but overall, I mean, they could do some great things with it. They might do nothing else with it. So for now, it's colorful, it's fun, but definitely not great.
Okay, number 6 here, finally. I'm going to go with the Hudson Lake Heat. And, something that we talk about a lot is being original, and this is definitely the least original team. I don't know, the Panthers is pretty unoriginal. But, this is obviously after the Miami Heat, and they don't go away from that at all. The one thing I do like is that kind of how well the blending of the two identities is done, taking the basketball legendary franchise and putting it into wiffle ball. And I really, really love the HL logo with the Heat thing coming up.
Yeah, that would be the one. That's the highlight of the set for me, is that HL.
For sure. I like that a lot.
I mean, the primary I don't understand. Why does it still have a basketball hoop? I mean, they can't use a strike zone because ORWBL doesn't have called strikes. But, I mean, you could have done other things with it. Maybe just take the rim off. I don't know. Something else you could do with that. So, I mean, that's weird. But like you said, it's just the Miami Heat with that one really nice HL thrown in.
I don't know. I like the HL logo.
Yeah, that's the one reason I kept knocking them up, though, is because that at least was really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so on to number 5, the Lynn Street Leprechauns. This one, it's been around for a few seasons at least. It's definitely fun. I would assume he's probably stolen from something, probably another bar logo or something like that, but I couldn't find anything, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
There you go.
This is a classy leprechaun dude. Standing on his pedestal. The font itself, I mean, the font isn't practical for printing or anything like that, but whatever, it's the leprechaun crushing stone. I guess that makes sense in some world. But, I mean, it's a leprechaun being sassy on a pedestal. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, he's got a backwards baseball cap, so he means business. And Ray-Bans, it looks like, even with the Ray-Bans logo in there. So that's neat.
And I mean, the colors can't go wrong with green.
No, I also like the Peter Griffin type chin on there too. The balls for chin's nice, and I mean the font it's not great, in terms of, like you said, replicating it, but I like it. It's really different, and that's what I like most about this, because I'm pretty sure they can claim the title as the sole team that's called the Leprechauns in the National Wiffle Ball arena. So we got the top. What's that?
I think that's a fact.
Yeah. So we're getting into the top 4 here, the top 4 logos in the Old Republic Wiffle Ball League. Number 4 is going to be the Cabo Yabos. This one is, it's kind of, it's like we keep ramping up here in the fun, colorful logo identities, because we had the Muffs who are like there, then the Leprechauns are a little bit better, but then you get to this one with kind of lighter blue, green, and orange as their main logos, and that's a really cool color combo that you don't see a lot. For some reason, the parrot is drinking tequila out of a.
What do you mean for some reason?
No, out of a moonshine jar is what I was going to say, and he's passed out, which is cool. Yeah, it's definitely a fun logo.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is the most fun. This is more fun than the Leprechauns, more fun than the Muffs. So this is now, with the loss of the Taco Punchers, both the most colorful and the most fun look in the league. And I'm sure it has to be clip art, but who cares? Yes. I couldn't find an exact. When I searched it, the only thing that came up was cartoon. Was the only thing it suggested. So hey, if you have hard to find clip art, still gonna like it. if it's fun. The only negative I have on this one, honestly, is the baseball bat.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, all you had to do was take out the oval, where usually the Louisville Slugger bat, or is Louisville or Easton has the oval? Easton, right?
Louisville.
Okay. All right, so yeah, take that out, and it could look like a wiffle ball bat with the taped handle. So, outside of that, I like it. Awesome colors, and it's I mean, this literally feels like playing wiffle ball in Cabo, probably.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, couldn't speak to that. Never been to Cabo, but yeah, I really like the font too. Really fits the identity.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, number 3, Brandon.
Yeah, he's back.
Hey.
I'm going to go with, and this one's going to hurt Trent, I know, the Maple City Magic.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know they have great jerseys.
Uh-huh.
They have an awesome color scheme. I love the purple and lime green. The problems I have with it, though, number one is that the one they use the most is just the Magic ripoff, the Magic Recolor logo. That's the one that appears on the sleeve of their jersey. So, I mean, if you're emphasizing that one, it's not that original. Plus the primary that they technically use, which is a roundel, completely nothing to do with the Orlando Magic at this point. But the logo itself, while being great colors, purple, lime, and gray, nothing about that logo says Magic, except for the fact that it actually has the word Magic in it. like this could be the logo for the Maple City Yankees or the Maple City Guys, or like any generic name. Like maybe they could have at least thrown stars into that primary or something that could have done a little bit more with it. But I mean, it's just the fact that the logos, there's not much going on there. I couldn't give him one of the top 2 spots. Yell at me.
No, I'm not going to yell at you here. The jerseys are great. They were considered for National Jersey of the Year. Like you said, I can't. The color combo is fantastic. It's something that you don't see a lot, and something that I wish we could see a lot more of. But when you really get down into the devil's in the details, and the details here are that they're either ripping off the Orlando Magic or they have a completely uninspired primary logo. And before we, I remember years ago or whenever they started, seeing their tweets pop up on my timeline, and I would see that logo, and I'm like, man, that's such a wasted logo, because there's nothing that stands out about this except for the colors. And if you have such a bold color scheme as the Magic have, you gotta ramp it up a little bit. And it's a classic MC. My high school was Maple Grove, and our logo is basically the same except it's an MG. The gray is kind of out of nowhere. The purple's a little off purple, and it's just, I would call the logo set uninspired, but the colors and the jersey really make up for it, for me at least.
Yeah, and that might be the recommendation. Be like, you've got that great jersey with the striping on it. Use something like that. I mean, you could even just redo this roundel you have using the striping element horizontally across it. Maybe that's a way to go to put some energy into it at least. But
yeah, no, and that font, I mean, that's straight up. That's like Arial.
Arial bold.
I mean, yeah, it's Arial bold. Like, come on. Like, you couldn't get more vanilla than that. It's a very uninspired set, but I like the colors. So number 2, I'm going to make number 2 the East Ridge Triple Crown. And this is the second time that we talked about them on this show because they're a brand new team. They got the brand new identity here. Things I like about this is, I don't know, the primary's got just this feel of it looks very professionally done. And I mean, obviously, if I really want to critique it, there's a few little things. But it's compared to the rest of it, I really like the more static feel it has than the rest of than some of the other logos. I like the symmetry. The font is at least unique. Obviously, it's not a custom font, but I really like how it kind of stands out. My only knock here is why don't the other crowns in the logo have wiffle ball heads? And B, what the hell? Why aren't you the triple crowns? Why the triple crown? That just makes me upset.
Because they chase individual stats. Trend.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. That would be my thought on it. But yeah, with the font, I love that they use the same. I'm going to call it shading, even though it's not technically shading.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
The 2 colors, I like how that's carried over to the font.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, very professionally done logo. It looks good, except for the one little glitch you have with the holes.
Yep.
The center hole specifically.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking of when I said that.
But everything, I mean, it's a solid look. Let's see if they do anything else with it. But yeah, I mean, right now, very solid look for the, month it's been out?
Yeah, about that.
Which means number 1, and this was probably the most common knowledge thing in the world. As soon as we announced we were doing ORWBL, the winner is the New Carlisle Newts, bringing back some of the alliteration there for Trent.
Of course. Well, that's acceptable alliteration right there.
And this one wins, and I'm just going to do some bullet points. Green and orange colors, check. Primary logo based on the Mets, double check. The secondary logo based on the Cubs, based on the Cubs secondary, triple check. And then the jerseys, there's too many checks. Just keep checking. I mean, they hit everything right on this, and it's mostly because the guy in charge, he's like us. He just designs.
Yeah, I was seriously gonna say that. I was gonna say that whoever's in charge of the Newts logos is someone who could be on this show.
If we had guests.
If we had guests, yeah, which we don't. But yeah, totally. Well, like you said, I mean, this just hits every single check box that we have as logo enthusiasts. It's got the font they have is something that's cool. It's something like I would expect as the Newts, like a team like the Newts to have. And I mean, I showed you the article just before we went on here. They did a whole bit where they redesigned every MLB team logo as the Newts. So it'd be like the Twins logo redesigned as the Newts. The Cardinals logo redesigned as the Newts. And, if we're talking about that, their Cardinals replica jersey, or whatever you want to call it, this year won Jersey of the Year, the NWLA Wiffy for Jersey of the Year. And so, and that was a sick jersey. And then, but the two that we have here, those aren't even the ones that won the old Chicago style, Red Cox style, HRL style jersey there that they have is just so cool. And this new one, the Chicago Cubs type jersey with the pinstripes, I don't know. I just can't say enough about the Newts and how appreciative I am that they are in the wiffle ball world and they communicate with me and stuff. Like they tag you and I and post about logos and stuff. It's just they really go the extra mile to make it fun for people like us.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean that article you mentioned, they did that back in 2013. So
really? Okay.
So that's old stuff. Like, so they did that a while ago, but obviously the Mets one from that and the Cubs one from that became their official logos later on.
Yeah, I love the Cubs logo.
There are some others, like, I mean, they use the Cardinals one as well. There are some others in here that they could definitely use. Yep. There's some misses throughout it, but for the most part, I mean, if you're doing 30 logos, you're going to have some duds. But they definitely hit on it, and I mean, every year, I've seen him actually say somewhere, I think it was actually after he was named Jersey of the Year, something to the effect of, that's why I do this. I always try to just make the most amazing look I can, or whatever it was. Definitely not the words he used, but to that idea, it's something he goes after.
Yeah, he's a kindred spirit of ours. Yeah, so shout out to whoever that is, whoever runs the Newts Twitter account. I don't even know who it is. We should know his name. So that's going to be it. The New Carlisle Newts take number 1 in our counter rankings for ORWBL. But before we leave here, Brandon, we have to leave on a sour note. And since we're talking about ORWBL, let's talk about the Jet City Junk Ballers.
Oh, jeez.
Now, I know that you love this team name and you love the identity of it. Just tell us why you love this so much.
Well, I'm not sure. Is anyone out there familiar with Junk Ball, the rival brand to Wiffle Ball?
Of course.
Yeah, it's that one. Bat? It's that one that has the ring around the middle that you spin to get different pitches out of it.
Yeah, and it
breaks in cold weather.
Yeah, no, the ring that breaks after the second hit. Yes, I'm familiar.
Yeah, and actually not even cold weather. Like 50 is cold. Yeah, I mean that's their logo. It's the Junk Ball brand logo is their team name. So I don't like the fact that a wiffle ball team has the balls or the stones to just, you know what, we're gonna play wiffle ball with this other brand's logo. I can't do it. That's bad. I'm not sure if you saw through that or not, but it's terrible.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
it's one thing to take another team logo, like a major league team logo, and use that. It's a complete other just to use a junk ball.
Well, it's almost like a rite of passage that all these leagues that are run by like middle schoolers go through. Because I know MNWA, when we started out, we used junk bats. Because we're like, oh, we're not going to use this skinny yellow bat. We can't hit dingers with this. So we had to use the junk bats because they were bigger. They had the 6 sweet spot on them. But eventually we grew out of it. But these guys, they just like went full in. Like they leaned into the fact that, hey, let's promote this horrible product.
Do you think they were a team, like, in the winter meetings, you've always got that team that's going to be causing problems. Do you think the junk ballers are the guys that, like, at the first winter meeting were like, we're using the junk ball bats. We're using junk balls.
Oh, for sure.
And then everyone else is like, no, we're going to have a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit and use yellow bats. And they just yelled and then eventually left and then made their logo what they wanted.
That had to be what happened. And like you said, I mean, it's just... Are they renamed now?
I think they're just gone, from what I understand.
They're not. Oh wait. Well, they're not even on the. They're not even on their franchises page.
Maybe they were renamed. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what. I'm sure there was a J involved, but I don't know what their city name was.
It was Jet City. I'm almost sure of it.
It's got to be Jet City. Jet City Junk Ballers.
Whatever. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, no, I know exactly the type. They're like, oh yeah, we love playing wiffle ball, and then they came to find out that they only use yellow bats. They're like, no, we're gonna come in and we're gonna show them, like, we're gonna change this league. This league that's been around since like 2007. We're gonna totally change it because we definitely know what's best. And then, like you said, they probably forfeited half their games and then left the next year.
I love we're just writing this narrative about how awful these people are. I have no idea. based on the fact they use the junk ball logo.
I mean, if there's any commissioner listening to this who's gone out and like tried to expand by getting like unknowns involved, if that makes sense, because like some of these leagues are like kind of club leagues where you have to have an in to get in. Like MNWA is definitely, I would say, a club league. SWBL is a club league. But you got leagues like ORWBL who are like, boom, we gotta grow. We gotta have 33 teams in our first season. And so they're just trying to get literally anybody. And so they go out and get these guys who are like, oh yeah, we played wiffle ball before. I know, like, anybody who's tried to grow knows that type of person, and they know we're right. They know we're right, and that's the type of people they're going to be. There's wiffle ball stereotypes.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know the exact guys you're talking about. Had more than 2 handfuls in my days. That's Emery's Army. He's talking about his days now.
Oh yeah, he is. He's like, oh yeah, I just got off the Oregon Trail. I got the clap from an Indian woman.
I'm writing a story about him now. Right now, it's
oh good.
He was actually a wiffle ball commissioner. Like before wiffle ball was invented, he was a time traveler. He's actually a Mulani. Emery Mulani was his name. He time traveled back. Mulani, the wiffle ball people. Emery Mulani was his name. He time traveled back to the past, and that's where they got the name from for the team. It's because it was his army. Instead of shooting people, they threw wiffle balls at people. It was a terrible strategy. But
it was they were battling the junk ballers.
Oh yeah, they went back too
for plastic ball dominance.
Hollywood make this movie.
Yeah. I bet tens of people would see it.
Not even, but Trent and I would be there.
Yeah, I probably would.
We would stream it for you free on the Two Wiffle Boots Podcast Network.
I'll come on good on you.